When we started in Bend, Oregon, we were established at the time, we were on the front wave of food trucks in the Northwest, which had already blown up pretty big at that time. But in our little town, super hip tourist town, I don't know, there was probably about 12 or 15 established food trucks in our town when we launched in, and almost nobody would help us get started. Almost no one would give any support or give you any information about the business or the industry or what they'd learned. There was one, actually two food trucks out of those that were there, and were kind, were encouraging, were welcoming, and even went out of their way to just make us welcome at festivals and events that we did. I remember just being so blown away by their kindness. I remember one couple that were just so kind. I remember asking them how they had done their setup, because we had an open air food cart and we needed to operate under a 10 by 10 setup, and we had some banners, but we needed a better system. And so we were kind of expanding, and we're always trying to get better in anything in business. And I had seen their banner set up, and I just kind of asked a couple questions, and they were like, oh yeah, blah, 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 and go to this hardware store and get this. And these are the fittings we did. And it's like $5 or $10. And I was like, oh my gosh, like just the kindness of sharing that information helped launch us forward, and determined that from that point on, I was going to return that kindness in any way I could, or pay it forward. I love that phrase. I didn't even realize I had grown up with a certain paradigm, and that's kind of known as a zero-sum game, that basically the pie is this big here. This is my example because it's handy, my coaster. And shout out to Arizona. Love Arizona. Lived there for a while. So if a zero-sum game, it basically says there's this much wealth in the world and nothing more. And so if I have my little corner of wealth, that leaves this much for everyone else. And if I take more wealth, that means there's less for everyone else to go around. And so it's a limiting factor. But there is another paradigm, and that is the concept of the opposite, is that basically the pie gets bigger. As I create wealth, it expands the whole economy. So every time a new food truck or food cart showed up, I'd go out of my way to welcome them. So I give them my phone number. And, if you need any insights, you want any beta, I'm happy to share. I didn't want to live in that zero-sum game, that if a new food truck showed up, that it would take away from the business that I could do. And this is how the pie got bigger. Our little town blew up.